Hey team, it's Tuesday again and we're back to this email. I apologize that it's late. My life is a little discombobulated lately. My wife is not home for this week. She's in Ontario with our new son Jace, and when she goes away, so does my normality for my life. So sorry it's late. It won't be next week. Just wanted to jump in because next week we start our Gravitate houses. The high school go off-site, off-campus to the houses, and junior high stays on the campus and does their thing there. And I just wanted to talk about devotionals, large group devotionals that happen in the houses, and just encourage you in those. First off, I just want to put a shout out to those people who volunteered. We already have a schedule laid out for October and November for those that are going to lead those devotionals in the houses. And I just want to put a shout out to the first people on the list. Next week, October 8th, Adam, Aaliyah, Josh, Wes, and Steph, thank you guys for being the first people on our list and the first people to do devotionals in the houses. Just to lay out what the devotionals look like, we have our time of worship and gathering together, and then we have our devotional time, and then they last between about 10 to 20 minutes, 20 max, and then from there, those are to propel us into our small groups at our houses. And on site for the junior high, the devotional is basically led from the front, from upstage. And I just want to encourage you, we're building a teaching team for those who are involved in junior high. If you're interested at all in teaching, we'd love to have you on the team and actually lead one of the talks at Resonate Junior. So if you're interested in that, please send me an email. Now, as far as preparing devotionals or preparing these talks, just a few things I want you to keep in mind. First off, as you prepare them, and those that are preparing for next week, I would encourage you to start preparing now if you haven't already started. As you prepare them, spend some time in prayer. Actually seeking God and asking God, what would you have me say? What stories would you have me tell? What ideas would you have me focus on for this devotional? Now, the devotional is laid out in your curriculum. We have the new curriculums in the email on the side for October right now. They're not quite complete. This is the kind of first draft, but that link will stay the same even as we change it, so you can get it there. Inside those, there's a section that's called Large Group Devotional. And each week, whoever leads the devotional can take a look at that page and see the basic points that we want you to kind of cover as you talk about this devotional. And it fits along with the small group curriculum that happens after the devotional. And so what you can do as you prepare, as I said, pray about it, hear God's voice on that. And then as you move forward, looking at the devotional in the curriculum, you see there's some headings there. One of the headings is what I want students to know. And that's kind of the main point. What I want them to know when they walk away from this 10, 20 minutes, this is the one point I want them to know. And I want to encourage you, we really want to keep things at one point. The second section is just like the first section, and it's what I want students to do. It's not really a second point, but I guess you could say it is. But it's more kind of, this is what I want them to know, so that leads to what I want them to do. It's kind of an application of that first point. And then below that, there are ideas about and things you can think about and talk about within the devotional, and you'll come up with your own ideas as you read the scriptures, as you spend time studying those to talk about. I really want to encourage you, one point, just narrow it down to that, and then build and focus around that. I want to encourage you to share story as well. Students listen to story, adults listen to story, people love stories. And so as you're praying, ask God for those stories, even from your own life or from other people's lives that you've watched, that would kind of enhance this devotional. Now, one thing I want to encourage you, and one thing that I've heard said lots before about those who preach and those who teach and those who lead devotionals, is don't make yourself the hero of the story. Come at it from a perspective of either uplifting others and acknowledging what they've done, or tell some reality about your life that may be just kind of opening them up to, hey, this is who I am. Not a success story necessarily, but a story of kind of your struggle or challenge through these topics. And then the other thing I want to encourage you is use the relationship that you have with the students as you teach. You will get to know the students as you grow in relationship in your house groups. And you can build off that, where you can talk about things not breaching confidentiality or anything like that, but talk about things and talk with them, not just as someone who's a speaker, but someone who's actually having a relationship with them. I was coached early on when I was preaching not to have a preaching voice. Sometimes we put on that preaching voice, and I just want to encourage you, have a conversation with them. Don't make it a preaching voice. So that's some suggestions. If you need any help leading or preparing for the devotional, come talk to one of the pastoral staff or talk to the coaches that are assigned to you. We would love to help you lead those, and I think there's a lot of wisdom and history on the team to help you with those. The other thing I want to mention, it might be kind of confusing, this is also a devotional, but this is a personal devotional, and this is what we're encouraging our students to look at over the next month. It's called, this week is called Pupil, but it's the Credo, or I don't know, Credo, I guess it's Credo devotional. And there's a whole month of devotionals here for students. And as you see in your small groups, there's a time where you can ask them how their devotions are going, how their personal devos are going. And that's this thing right here. Now this thing we're giving out for free in October. And if they really like it, then the following months, we're going to sell it for a toonie. So kind of track with them and find out, what is this like? It's a little different. It's not a Bible and prayer kind of devotional. I mean, I read the Bible and they do prayer. But there's also all sorts of different exercises. Like I think in one of the first days here, it's like draw an ear. And it's like, well, how does that fit in? And they have different perspectives and kind of artsy ways of doing things. And so this might be appealing to some students that, want some different exercises to do. Ask them how it's going. And the idea is that they would get into a rhythm of doing devos themselves so that they become, in some sense, self-feeders on God's word. And so really encourage them in this and ask, what is God speaking through this? And the last thing I wanted to talk about just briefly was I'm still taking pictures of students and even leaders, if there's some leaders I haven't taken pictures of. I'm really trying to pump that Not Just a Number project because I really want to get to know the students. I want to get to know you guys. And so after Resonate, after your small groups, make sure you encourage your students to go and find the booth where they can get their picture taken if they haven't already, because I want to get as many people for our picture wall as I can. So that's all I got today. Again, apologize for the late email, but I'm so glad. I just love being on this team, guys. It's been a pleasure so far. I've met with a few of you, and even just the staff team and those that just hang out around the youth center. It's such a privilege to be part of the Beulah Youth Ministry, and I'm so excited for what this year has ahead. We'll see you tomorrow.